Tonight on the Face Off Hockey Show preseason. Oh, don't you dare miss it, kids. We'll talk about all the face-off violations, all the injuries. Hey, Calgary in more drama. And won't you believe it, Lyle Richardson will be joining us as well. We'll talk some Matt Duchene because he looks like he's captive in his own skin. I don't know what that meant. We're the best podcast going around. You don't believe us, just ask us. Face Off Hockey Show coming up right now.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Choose your command. You have chosen
The Face Off Hockey Show.
I mean, hockey is my life. I've got on hockey underwear right now.
The Face Off Hockey Show. With Scotty Waz. Sean O.
And a breakaway. They shoot the scores! There he goes!
And the P-Boys, Johnny and Mark with the C.
Yeah, baby.
You believe it not? Oh, yes!
Here's your host for the Face Off Hockey Show, Scotty Waz. I think it's over. Is it over? Is it over? I don't know.
It's over.
I haven't figured out the mix. I haven't figured out the mix minus on this thing yet. Welcome to Face Off Hockey Show, everybody. Scotty Waz, not Johnny P. Mark with the C. Johnny P's been banned. He's on week 2 of his ban.
It's true.
I gotta break my camera up. I don't know how he does this. Producing, having to do multiple things at the same time. It's amazing. Weird. Anyway, how are you guys? How you doing? Great. Glad to hear. We are now in full preseason mode, kids. We've had split squad games. We've had regular games. We've had people go to China. How about that? They're in China, Mark. Can you believe it?
No, I can't believe it. I don't understand why.
Because they need that Asian market. They tried
Okay,
Japan,
okay.
and they kind of have Japan there just as a standstill. Now the China, where there's untapped marketing potential.
Here's a crazy idea. I know how to make hockey popular in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a thing called the Olympics.
That's not the right Korea, though. We need the Korea that doesn't get any media, much like the NHL. So going to China and then going to North Korea would be perfect for them because they get no kind of media, so they don't understand how bad it actually is run. But here we are. Yep, the Canucks and Kings are in a preseason mode for the Shanghai Games. Hooray!
Yeah. Okay. I'll believe it when I see it.
Exactly. When you see the games, they're probably on NHL TV. I don't know. In any case, before we get to all of that, sir, how was your weekend? We're on baby high alert right now.
Yeah, we not quite red alert yet.
Okay.
But definitely high alert. So everything's going well. Everything's good. No baby yet. Definitely sometime within the next week and a half. We know that much for sure. So we're sitting tight here. We've got our bags packed. They're in the car, literally.
Wow, you're really forward thinking on this.
Yeah, I mean, just in case, we need to flee the country or something.
Right. No, just it's alternative motos. I like it. I like how you're.
I actually have 2 bags packed. One is for the hospital and one is for Canada with my passport.
One is for the hospital. The other has a fake mustache in it.
Yeah. And $100 US, which is going to last me like 8 years in Canada.
Dude, you can buy a house or at least a nice condo for that.
So,
I think
we're ready. We're ready to go. I mean, we're ready with the things. I don't know if we're ready to be parents, but I guess we'll figure that one out.
Yeah, well, fatherhood, motherhood all come with a chime. You just go in, have fun, enjoy yourselves. So that's good. It's good to go. Nothing fantastic this weekend. Nothing, no fun weekend things. You're at the last straw here. The fun weekend things for at least a couple years.
We're going to a Maryland football tailgate to hang out for a little bit to go see some people we haven't seen in a while. But other than that, nothing too crazy. Oh, and by the way, back to the fatherhood thing, I want to thank Anthony for sending me a message and offering advice. I appreciated that very much, and I will try to take as much of that advice, and implement it as I can. I'll have to go back and reread the email. It was a very lengthy, well-written email, and I appreciate it very much.
So I hope the first sentence was "Don't drop the baby,"
Yeah, I mean
That-
that's pretty standard advice.
And honestly, I think that's all you need because everything else is case by case. Don't
People
drop
don't
the
say-
baby though.
yeah. People don't say that enough. They just assume that you know that.
Yeah, that's sad. That's sad because they're like, oh, it's a bouncing baby boy. No, they don't bounce, guys. Sorry, hate to break it to you.
Bouncing baby boy.
They don't break. They bounce and then just they break. Well, that's good. It's ready. The Mini Patanzo watch on high alert, folks.
Yes.
We're almost 0 hour here.
Gianluigi Patanzo.
That's perfect. A more WAP name I'll never find. Unless I go to Italy. I'm never going to Italy. Are you kidding me? I got a pizza place right down the block. What do I need Italy for?
Yeah. What do you need Italy for, right? That's
Exactly. It's an alcohol
everybody
store
says.
down there. We got a wine. They got wine. They got wine. So, what
I
I need
too have an uncle.
It's good. It's
And-
great. Jesus, what the hell was that?
It was the wine glass hitting the microphone. See, I have a new arrangement for the microphone tonight because my stand kind of stopped working the way that it worked before, so it's an upside down microphone tonight. So it's all up in my face, and I can't really figure out where to like hold a glass of wine, for instance, without hitting the microphone. Clearly,
It takes a while, especially with these mic boom stands. You're gonna have to finagle your way around.
yeah.
So that's good. All right. Well, that's gravy. My weekend entailed, or my week was full of rain and tornado warnings. It's been great.
Wow.
Um,
You guys name tornadoes, or is that just hurricanes?
I think that's just hurricanes, and cyclones,
I guess the tornadoes come too quickly for names.
and they just happen, kind of thing. You can't see it.
Yeah.
You could probably project a tornado, but you can't project it for like 3 weeks out, like these guys are doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we've been a tornado watch, nothing big. Went down to Fargo, didn't do too much there. Just hung out. And luckily when we were in Fargo, our power was out. So it's like, well, it's a good thing we're out here then and not stuck at home. But yeah, and then as we creep
Money too. I mean, you're not paying for electricity while you're away.
that's
you know,
good. Thank
'cause there
God.
was none.
Yeah, there was nothing there. It's just nothing at all. Nothing at all. And yeah, nothing today. And then I start overnight. So I got a weekend coming up tonight, starting tomorrow. So
That's exciting.
yeah, man, it's been a thrill. This is fantastic. They put on a special projects. It's they want me to go to conferences. It's great. So everything's coming up. Not money wise is not coming up, but you can say that about the journalism career too. But hey, here we are. It's new season, new start, ready to go. North Dakota hockey starts in T-minus 9 days, 10 days, 10 days.
Very nice.
Not this Saturday, next Saturday. So hooray! And then the media luncheon on Tuesday, I'll be attending. I'll have more reports about that on Wednesday, but media luncheon only spells good things. Media,
Have you figured out what the spread is going to be yet?
pretty sure probably just ham slices and cheese slices. That's it. A deli platter, as it were.
Nice.
Do you remember our me and Jeopardy's tailgate we had? Our cold cut tailgate back in 2001. Do you remember
Yes, at
this?
St. Joe, I do.
We
Because
see-
didn't you offer who was it? Not Harris. It was Cameron. Didn't you offer Cameron a sandwich?
It was I think it was Chip Armstrong,
It was Chip. Okay.
the dean of discipline, asking if we were at school today because Jeopardy had dropped his tie and just took it off. And he's just like, woo, party. It was like in his white t-shirt.
Yeah.
Idiot. But we made it out. So yeah, the cold cut tailgate. We need more cold cut tailgates, like in life. Not me putting it on because no, but just in life.
Well, what's the benefit of a cold cut tailgate versus, say, like a pre-made sub tailgate, where you just go to Subway and get a pre-made sub? I mean, I feel like that's easier. Then you got less hands digging into the meat.
Dude, we were 17, 18. Like we were too stupid to figure that one out. Like that's probably the reason why. Like now, I think we can get cold cut subs, the 6 foot long. So or get the Jimmy John's. They're freaky fast. They got like a little box. You get little sandwiches in there.
Yeah.
That we
I
could
mean,
do.
we're adults now. We can figure this out. We don't have to you don't just buy pounds of meat anymore. That's crazy.
We should though. We should make it a thing. Yeah. So yeah, that was my week. And then next week, yeah, media luncheon. I'll have more on that. Sure to be a fun time. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Johnny in jolly old England. He is taking in the Ravens and I don't know who they're playing. Jaguars, I think.
The Jaguars.
Is that just the second home of the Jaguars? Is the London, England area?
I don't know. Maybe they actually play better out there. Who knows? But I feel like they do play. Like 2 years ago, they played out there, I believe. And then they're out there again.
Good job, Jericho. I'm pretty sure they play there every year. I wonder. He says to
probably
himself.
because they can't sell out their own stadium, so it is considered a home game for the Jaguars, and they probably are going to get more people at this game than they get at the regular games. So,
well, this is the arena where they put the red zone, where they're thinking of putting red zone on the stadium, the in-stadium thing.
Right.
So tells you how good they are.
To be able to watch teams that aren't the Jaguars.
Exactly. So since this started in 2007, the Jaguars have been once, twice, 3, 4, 5. This will be their 5th game. So congratulations. The other teams going this year are Miami, Los Angeles Rams, Cleveland Browns, and the Oakland Raiders. Oh, the Oakland Raiders are actually in Mexico City. That's a Mexico City game.
When is that? Because the earthquake might have something to say about that.
Not till November. So it's in Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. Right now there's they had pregame concerts, but apparently not anymore. They didn't have one last year. Oh, that was Mexico City. Last year in the Europe games and the England games, you had Robin Thicke, Craig David, and the Wessex Male Choir and U.S. Army Europe Band. Don't know
the U.S. Army Europe Band.
That's what it says here.
So it's not just Europe.
No, it's the U.S. Army.
It's not Europe, the band.
It might be a U.S. Army cover band of Europe.
That makes more sense.
That would be great. Yeah, so it's actually the U.S. Army operations of the U.S. United States European Command Area of Responsibility. They're part of NATO, I think. I don't know. But you can see the game live on Verizon. What?
On Yahoo. It's on Yahoo, isn't it?
It's on Yahoo, but they have listed here Verizon. Oh, that's why. Verizon bought Yahoo. That forgot.
Hey, there you go.
There it is.
Is it on Oath?
It probably is on Oath. It's an Oath presentation. I would love to see who the pregame is for this Sunday's game.
What, do they have an opener?
They probably should.
An undercard?
Yeah. I wonder, because they had, like I said, last year, Robin Thicke was there. Craig David. In the past, they've had the Ohio State Marching Band.
Ooh.
Def Leppard performed in 2014.
Okay.
The Goo Goo Dolls. My Chemical Romance. Calvin Harris. Train. So,
very nice.
Ready to go, baby.
So, I guess we'll just have to see who the opening act is then. John will have to tell us all about it when he gets back.
It's some garbage band called The Stones. It was bad. I'm like, ah!
Or Garbage. Just Garbage will be there.
Shirley Manson would be nice. I miss Shirley Manson's great. She's fantastic.
They're already over there, right? They were from the UK to begin with.
They're from Scotland. Yeah, so they are part of the...
They're part of the kingdom as a whole.
Wait, hold on. Are they from Scotland? They're from Ireland. Hold on.
It's still part of the kingdom.
Well, they're drummers from Los Angeles, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
Right?
Yeah, she's from Scotland.
Maybe one of the two of them aren't in, and Ireland might not be in the United Kingdom.
I don't think Northern Ireland is, but not Ireland. Garbage was formed in Madison, Wisconsin.
That was way off.
Wow. Yeah, so apparently, yeah, Shirley Manson, and a bunch of Americans.
Well, we are
We
shouting
are.
from the rooftops that
That wasn't them. No,
no.
no.
Who was that? Oh, that
That
was
was
something Republic, right?
That was Republica.
Republica. They're from the UK.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
I
Who's
hope.
Garbage then?
Garbage. I'm only happy when it rains.
Yep, that's more grungy. That's definitely more Wisconsin sound for sure.
Yeah, that Wisconsin grunge that we all came to know and love.
Yeah, you know all the Wisconsin bands.
Yeah, like
Those
those guys and the other one. Nirvana, Cheesevana. It's just it's grunge songs about cheese. They released an album recently, Garbage. Last year.
How was it?
Oh, it's terrible.
So it's not just a clever name.
Nope. Oh, it's great. Funny enough, in a comparison to Nirvana, Butch Vig, who's the drummer, actually produced Nevermind. So there you go.
Yeah, how about that?
Fun facts. We're doing 90s music again. I love it. It's our wheelhouse, WHFS era. So where was the Shirley Manson? Come on. She's 51 years old. She looks tremendous. She looks great. Everyone's looking great for their age these days. All that plastic surgery. There we go. All right. So, oh god, I have to figure this out again.
Are we just gonna Scotty screen share here? What's
No,
the deal?
No, we're gonna do this.
I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in.
Yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was in.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. Nailed it.
Look
Right
at
out
that.
of the park.
Look at that production.
Yep, I got one more week of this, and then I'm done with it forever. We'll start off with some somber news. And it was revealed yesterday that Brian Boyle is going to be out indefinitely. He has been diagnosed with leukemia, the same kind of leukemia that Jason Blake was diagnosed with many years ago. Trying to find out. It's CML. I don't know what those letters stand for, so I'm going to find them out right now. So he obviously going to be out indefinitely.
While you look that up, I've seen reports that he said that he wants to play in the home opener.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously go get treatment. But I think that'll be good. A good send off, depending on how long it takes him to fight. There's no guarantee that we'll ever see him in the NHL again after this, but he had a great career. One of those guys that doesn't really get a lot of credit, but he was on a lot of very good winning teams.
Yeah, and one of those big guys who he almost a Todd Bertuzzi light in terms of just power forward, big guy, knows how to get to the net, hell of a shot. Chronic myeloid leukemia. It's a condition that's a form of bone marrow cancer. It's very treatable with medication, and Jason Blake, like I said, has been living through this, lived through that for a while. And still living with it. Jason Blake's still alive. I saw him last year. He's doing great. So yeah, he's I'm trying to find out when he was diagnosed. He was diagnosed in 2007. Played 4 more years in the NHL. Jason Blake did. So.
Oh, well, there we go. So maybe Boyle will be playing this year.
Yeah, very possible. So there we go.
I didn't mean to prematurely end his career.
I was going to say, wow, Mark, you really took him out from under him.
When you see a blurb that says somebody's got leukemia, it's not like, shake it off, buddy. You'll be out there. Rub some dirt on it.
Yeah. But you also are just like, wow, he was a great guy, played great hockey, and we really miss him.
Yeah. Okay, so now I can go back to hating him for a little while at least.
Well, not only when he comes back and he gets a full bill of health. Now we have to bandy around him.
Okay. So
like he's not going to play the Caps. So
he's a solid dude.
You should hate Nico. You should hate Nico Hischier for what he did to the Capitals in that preseason game.
Oh man.
In any case, some more injury news. The Capitals have officially won the Kevin Shattenkirk deal as Zach Sanford. Zach Sanford dislocated his shoulder. He's out 5 to 6 months. So you got Phoenix Copley back too. So
Great. Well, those draft picks really.
who needs draft picks? Come on.
Who needs draft picks?
The Capitals have showed in the past, even if they have draft picks, Mark, they don't do shit with them. So
true.
they just leave them hanging.
In this case, it is better to have lost and then completely lost than to have loved and lost.
Oh yeah. Let's be honest, guys. They're not getting rid of much.
It's Philip Forsberg.
That one kind of that prospects hurts. Prospects hurt more than draft picks. And who knows what they're gonna do? Who knows what they're gonna do? Also in St. Louis camp, Jay Bouwmeester, he's out indefinitely, fractured his ankle. So he's got that going for him at least. So he'll be out.
Jay Bouwmeester's still around.
I found that out too. I'm just like, wow.
Is like because I believe he got drafted by Florida like the second year we did the show. Has he really been in the league for like 15 years? I feel like he has.
That's a great question. It has to be
him looking like Eminem when he got drafted, and I mean we wouldn't have referenced Eminem unless his career was still going, and that had to have been back in the early thousands or
2002. So it's our first draft that we went to. That's the draft that we actually. And show you how much NHL credentials have changed. We requested that the day before, got approved, drove up there, and we're in time.
Yeah.
So
Bouwmeester going on his 16th NHL season.
Over 1,000 games for Mr. Bouwmeester.
15th NHL season about to start.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 seasons. Yep. 15 seasons because they lost the season to the lockout. So, but yeah, no, he's and the not much for NHL recognition, but the international, my goodness, gold medal in Sochi, 2 gold medals in the World Championship, 2 gold medals in the World Cup. The only silver.
A pretty good career.
He's got a great career.
Here.
1,071 games he's played. It's amazing. Doing great for himself. All rookie team. Who doesn't love him? Colin White, not that Colin White, his son Colin White.
I was gonna ask. I was like, is this Colin White? Like, what do we care about Colin White for?
Yeah, no, not the other Colin White.
Junior.
I don't think he's a junior. I think they have different middle names.
Oh, well, that's really confusing,
right?
If you're gonna name your kid the same as you, at least go the whole distance.
Well, here's the thing: there's like 2 Erik Karlssons in the league. They spell it the same way. There's also 2 Sebastian Ahos in the league. So
how are there 2 Sebastian Ahos in the league?
I know that one's a little bit weird.
So this isn't. So this is Colin White's son, or this is just someone?
No, this is someone named Colin White.
Oh, okay,
but he plays for the Senators. He's 20 years old. He's got a broken wrist. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. James Neal having further injuries with his hand. He is going to be gone 2 to 4 weeks on top of his surgery that he's recovering from. I think he went under knee surgery, hip surgery. He underwent some kind of surgery. So that also Alexander Steen injured his left hand. He's going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks. So there we go.
All right.
Mark, here's some good news for you and your kind. I can go many number of ways for this.
Yeah.
I can go the Italian route. I can go the new father route, but I'm going the goaltender route. Smaller chest protectors won't be ready for the season. So congratulations.
I want to know what the process for this was. Like, who had to stand there and take slap shots with the small chest protector and be like, nope, I still felt it. You guys are going to need to go back to the drawing board. How did you figure that out?
Well, apparently there's no word on what caused it. So there's that.
Well, I get the goal to reduce the footprint of the protective gear. I get that. Right. They want to make it smaller to increase goals, but how did they figure out that they weren't ready?
Well, they don't know why they're not ready. That's the thing. Maybe they're just like, well, they realize. I think they probably looked at the pants and then realized the pants were garbage. Like, well, they didn't do much in terms of just reducing anything. So the smaller chest protector not there. Smaller, slim-fitting pants, as is the fashionista state, still around. So you got that going for you at least.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Keep the junk in tight.
I know that's what I should name a fantasy team after that. Keep the junk in tight. Dean Lombardi, recently fired by the LA Kings, is now picked up with the Philadelphia Flyers. He will be the scout for Philadelphia Flyers this year. In his stead between San Jose and LA. He was a scout for the Flyers, so he's just going back home again before he gets that sweet Anaheim job to finish out the California Triumvirate.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, he's obviously not a bad coach. He just run his course in LA. So
bad GM too.
Oh, that too. I mean, but he's got to coach his management staff at some point. He's probably got to coach them on team building exercises. You know what I mean?
Nice. Good save.
Yeah. I knew what I was saying. I knew
you know what you're saying.
Probably a good labor coach to his wife whenever he had a kid.
Yeah, how are you feeling about that?
I stand by my coach statement.
How are you feeling about being the coach
cool.
there?
I'm cool about that. I read a book, part of a book. I read a web page. I gave advice. Okay, I read a Twitter that somebody put up about being a labor coach, a tweet, and
Was it a meme? Did you look at a meme?
It could have just been a picture of a guy with a thumbs up holding a leg. But anyway, I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
That was a KFC ad, everybody. KFC ad. That's all he looked at.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm feeling okay about that. Yeah. We have the aromatherapy machine. They say that's a good thing. Yeah, an aroma machine, a little thing that sprays out lavender smells. They say that's good. You're supposed to make the room like the right temperature and the right light. You can dim the lights. You can make it smell good. You can create some white noise with a fan or something if you want to. You're supposed to set the mood just right. And I think I got all that. I got it. I know what we're supposed to do. Get the lavender going. Make it all super
I can't tell if you're serious or not. I really have no idea what's going on here. I never did any of that.
Maybe no. I mean, this place is the Fairfax Hospital is legit, man. They do all that stuff.
Christ.
As soon as you come in, you're supposed to like set it up the way you like things. You can, move things around, put up pictures of your family if you want to.
Maybe that was my problem. Maybe that's the problem with public health care nowadays. That's why we should just not have government health care, is that you just throw it into a room and then have the baby. So,
yeah,
maybe that's it.
They're bringing us in a little early to get us all settled in, I mean, assuming that we get induced when the plan is on October 2nd for induction.
She gets induced. Let's not do this we get induced thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be there. No, I'm not getting induced.
It'd be great if you just got induced for just to get
me up too, Doc.
Well, it's like the episode of Full House where Uncle Jesse had the appendicitis and he was all doped up along with Lori Loughlin's character, Aunt Becky, and they were just side by side as the twins were being born.
Well, that's cute. I don't want to have appendicitis, but
like anyone does, I don't think that's natural to want to have appendicitis.
Well, what if you just really hate your appendix?
Get
out of there, appendix.
Why can't we get that taken out? Like just as a there. Like, why does it have to be inflamed and killing us before we same with tonsils? Why can't we just have it out?
Well, I mean, my wisdom teeth are still in my face. They're not going anywhere. So I wouldn't want a dentist to drill in there and take them out unless they're causing me problems.
I had mine done at 17. I had mine done at 17. And I was fine. I came out. Okay, I came out okay. They weren't causing me pain either, but they're like, yeah, in about 20 years it will. I'm like, okay, well, let's get them out now. Why not? 30 minutes in and out the door. Boom, done. All doped up. It's fantastic.
So anyway, yeah, Dean Lombardi, great labor coach.
I hope you shout pucks in deep. I hope you call for a line change and the nurses come out and new nurses come in. It'd be great. Hey, Mark, you like finances. I like finances. We took Jerry Naylor's classes.
Debit, credit, debit, credit.
The city of Calgary released their proposal.
Let's hear it.
They released their part of the proposal where the city, the total cost would be $555 million plus indirect costs, in which the city would pay 33%, the users would pay 33%, and the Flames ownership would pay 33%, leaving that 1% that is just hanging around.
The
So,
users?
yeah, ticket surcharge is what it would be.
That's debatable what that means, by the way, because the players technically use the arena way more than the fans do.
Oh yeah, and it's not really a public forum, so it's not like the fans can go in there and have a ball. So rather than tell you, why not we get a little interactive via the Scotty screen share? Here is the proposal that the city of Calgary put out, and you can follow along on TV. I will talk to the people who are just podcast only. So the Calgarians, the city of Calgary, they would pay $130 million for contribution of non-property tax, $30 million for the land, and $25 million for the demolition of the Saddle Dome, which totals $185 million. Calgarians would pay all infrastructure, which is $150 million, and the possible Green Line station upgrades and utility upgrades.
Very nice.
So that's what the Calgarians would pay. They would get property tax from the arena. The Calgarians would, Flames hockey for at least 35 years, an event center use during Stampede and for international events.
Wait, property tax goes back into the budget.
Yes.
That the arena pays on, I guess, its profits. Who pays the property tax?
Yeah, I would think the owners would, right?
I guess it depends on who owned the arena.
At that point, it'd be the ownership, because as we see for Flames ownership, they would pay $185 million, which is 33%. They would get full control of the arena and 100% of all revenues.
Yes, so I would assume then that Flames ownership pays the property tax because they're not tenants. They're not like paying rent to somebody else.
No,
at that point.
Nope. And then the users pay for ticket surcharge, $185 million. Total cost $555.
So if you're a person living in Calgary that also has Calgary season tickets,
you're getting double paid.
6% of this.
Essentially, you're paying a little bit more, but that's fine.
That's kind of No, I'm not down with that.
No.
Why
not?
It sucks.
No, but Mark, the city of Calgary said this would help Calgarians keep their money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I bet it will. That's ridiculous.
All right, so put Mark on the non-city of Calgary side.
Yeah, rejected.
So Ken King, in his infinite wisdom, said that the arena pitch would have team paying 120%. I think his math is as wrong as this 33 shit. He said that Ken King said the city's proposal would have forced the Flames to fund 120% of the project. King insisted that the rejected proposal would have required the Flames to pay the city back for its part of the cost through property taxes, rent, or lease fees, in addition to the ticket surcharge, the latter of which he argued would come right out of the club's revenue stream. So,
aren't they already one of the companies, one of the teams that doesn't really make a profit?
So
how did
ask Lyle on that?
I thought there were like 5 or 6 teams that like every year post that they don't make a profit, and I thought the Flames were one of those. But I could have been thinking about another league, perhaps.
It's highly well. What other league is Calgary in? The lacrosse league, and then the Canadian football. Which Canadian football, they make a ton of money on that. Let's see, NHL teams revenue. I'm sure this will come up with great results. The business of hockey list, everybody. So the business of hockey. Let's see. Forbes, you're killing me, Smalls. Adblock. That's how whitelist. Jesus Christ. Leave me alone. Let me whitelist it. Christ, guys. What are you doing here? First off, racist. Second off, come on. All right. I've whitelisted. Leave me alone. Look at this stupid ad. See if the Calgary Flames right. Yes. Exclude. Jesus. And then they have this stupid quote that you have to look at too. McKellen, rare cask, whatever. I don't care about whiskey. Don't care as much as Mark does. Mark loves his whiskey. We all know this.
Do love whiskey.
So the Flames are 16th. They are dead in the middle.
Oh, fantastic.
Let me see what these numbers mean here. The revenue that they have is 121 million. Their operating revenue 18 million. So they're getting 120. They don't make that much money.
Okay. So the operating income in 2015-16 looks like they made 18 million. The Flames did.
Okay.
I believe that's what that means. So the teams that I was thinking about: Florida, Carolina, Phoenix. Those are the obvious ones. Columbus, Nashville. This was before Nashville became,
Right. They went
country
like
music heaven,
Yeah.
national anthem, stardom. Devils and Kings were all in the red, and the Ducks. I skipped the Ducks. So Florida, Carolina, Phoenix, Columbus, Nashville, Anaheim, New Jersey, Los Angeles, all in the red as recently as 15-16.
amazing Los Angeles. But kind of not really. Really sell out a lot. I don't know.
Now
Hey.
keep in mind that was based on operating income, not necessarily, debit and credit. Bottom line.
Right. Bottom line. So there we go. There's your franchise, your Calgary franchise watch. Don't know if they're going to be coming in. Don't know. Everyone's against the Flames now because like you don't need public funding to build an arena. You all do it with private money. Yeah, then they want to use the goddamn building all the time. Here's the thing:
Yeah.
I want the Flames to go ahead and pay for it themselves and just give a big middle finger to Calgary. It's like, no, we built this on our own. You ain't gonna get these handouts, you stupids. Move this. We'll move this up to Airdrie, where they're building that big. It's funny because I hadn't paid attention to Calgary news because why would I? I was in North Dakota. As I was driving to my hotel when I went back to Alberta, there, north of town, there's this big like stadium complex. Like, wow, they built a stadium. How did I not know about? Nope, it's just a new mall. It's just a new mall that's right across the street from the old mall. That's as big. It's a Mills Mall, the the Cross Iron Mills, and right across the street from it's going to be another big, gigantic mall. Because
Makes total sense.
Sure, why we're not fitting the market? Come on.
I love that the Flames turned around to the city and were like, I think you should pay for it all and then let us play there for free. How about that? You like that proposal? No, you don't? Well, fine then.
Well, hey, your proposal was just as stupid. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Guess what? I don't know what to tell you. We're at an impasse here.
Sounds like they're going to get this worked out pretty fast.
No, I think this is going to go great. I think it's going to be fantastic for everyone involved.
I'm so excited that we're going to be talking about this next summer.
Next summer, we'll talk about it through the year. Brian Burke,
all year and next summer.
You got to remember, Brian Burke is part of this this front office staff, so he will harp on that forever. So there we go. Well, Mark-Alex Ovechkin conceded defeat in the Olympics.
Already, they haven't even played yet.
He's not going. He conceded and not going. Russia, that'll be like February 20th. They'll concede defeat.
We concede. We're not going to win it this year either.
Yep.
No, I think it's the right move.
You have to, right?
The longer the longer he took that fight into the season, and even though Leonsis is saying that he's going to support his player, the longer he took that fight into the season, the more of a distraction it was going to be. And if he's serious, and it sounds like he is about bringing the Caps back, keeping that window open, then he's got to stop harping on the Olympics and start playing NHL hockey.
Yep. Yeah, and it's one less distraction. They have to keep asking him in post game and all that other crap. So, what can you do? Mark, it's time to play a game. Guess who's on PTO? Guess who's on a PTO? This is where we talk about Tony Kornheiser and Mike Wilbon, and what's that? That's PT what? PT. Oh, PTI. What's PTO then?
It's paid time off.
Boom. I got that coming up. By the way, I got my Chick-fil-A days off, so I'm going to be standing outside there.
Do you have your tent? Do you have your outfit picked out?
Tent? What am I, some kind of wimp? I'm going to brave this. Going to be my Zubaz. It's going to be my Zubaz. It's going to be great.
Do you at least have a tailgate chair?
No. Actually, yeah, I do. That's what Jen sits in when we do the Sodas Run Bubble.
Okay, good. You're not just standing outside Chick-fil-A overnight.
I'll just bring a recliner. No one touch this. I'm going. But no, it's time for PTO tracker. You know it, you love it. It's that time of year where PTOs are just handed out. Like there's a lot of the Los Angeles Kings had, I think, 12 PTOs. The Red Wings had like 10. Like it's the amount of, but the Kings have a who's who of who cares. My God. The Kings, Brooks Like, everybody on a PTO. Brandon Pruss on a PTO. Chris Lee, former top draft pick for the Ottawa Senators on a
Hold
PTO.
on. Where did they film Dancing with the Stars?
I wonder if that's LA.
It's definitely LA. He's totally he was like, hey guys, can I come play some hockey for a few weeks while my wife films her TV show?
He's
Yeah, sure, come on
he's
out.
Ryan Millering this thing. By the way, I've never seen Ryan Miller's girlfriend or wife in anything at all.
Neither have I. Did you mean Mike Fisher?
No, Ryan Miller. Ryan Miller's wife is allegedly an actress.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were talking about Carrie Fisher's
not
husband.
No, not Mike Underwood. He's married to something called a Noreen DeWolf. Noreen.
I loved Law and
Noreen
Order. She
DeWolf.
created that, right?
She was
executive producer Dick Wolf.
Yeah. She was in Ocean's 13 as the Nuff Said Expo girl.
I remember her.
She was in the movie The Comebacks as Jizminder Featherfoot. A lot of these are direct to video I'm seeing here. Ghost to Girlfriend's Past. She was Melanie in that one.
Okay.
She was Heather in The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard with Jeremy
I remember
Piven.
that movie. I just don't remember Heather.
The Backup Plan. She was Daphne.
Okay.
Now, this is a great movie. She played Kim in this movie, the 2010 hit. The 41-year-old virgin who knocked up Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it. It was unsurprisingly direct to video.
That's amazing. They tried to make a spoof of two comedy movies.
Yeah. 2.
41
41.
More than
3.
The 40-year-old version.
Wait, no, 4 of them. 40-year-old virgin, knocked up, Sarah Marshall, or Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and Superbad.
Oh, I missed Superbad. I missed the Superbad reference.
Felt super bad about it.
Yep, totally missed that. Look at
Starred
More
comedian Brian Callen.
Who?
Okay.
Am I supposed to know that?
I don't know. Are you a big fan of Joe Rogan?
Brian Callen. No, but my buddy keeps trying to get me to listen to his podcast.
This podcast is weird. It's not for everybody.
How do you spell Colin?
Callen.
That would explain why I got a lot of Brian Collins.
Oh,
okay, I know who this guy is.
Okay. She was in an episode of Hell's Kitchen as herself in the episode Crepe Grand Prix.
I'm a big fan of this guy, Brian Callen. I didn't know that was his name. He's funny. He's a funny dude.
Anger Management she was on. How about that? She was on the Charlie Sheen show, Anger Management.
I never watched that.
No one did.
So okay, she's done her thing. She's in LA. She's got it going on.
She played Charlie Sheen's. Charlie Sheen was he was a anger management therapist, and she was Charlie's spoiled, shallowed, and destructive anger management patient. Like I said, allegedly an actor. So anyway,
Okay.
Where am I at here? Shane Harper's there, TJ Hensack, a lot of AHL guys who didn't make it. Jamie Devine, Brett Sutter is there. Good times there. Daniel Winnick and Ryan Maloner in Minnesota. The Red Wings have P.A. Parentho, David Booth, Colin Campbell, not that one. Connor Crisp, that's a name that I've heard before. Tim Erickson back in effect in New Jersey. Same with Jimmy Hayes. Chris Vandevelde is with the Ottawa, former UND guy. Ty Loney, Troy Loney's son in St. Louis. Only reason I bring that up because Troy Loney, part of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim in NHL 94. And like we mentioned, I think last week, Alex Chason and Jyrki Jokipaka in Caps camp.
Are they still there?
I think so. Teams are cutting players at a rapid pace, though. I will tell you that. I think the Flames got like 24 people yesterday. They still had like 47 still at camp. Maple Leafs have one day at camp. They cut 26. I'm like, Jesus, guys.
Although I thought it was pretty cool that the Kings, by the way, were the Kings and the Devils, right? We're hosting emergency goalkeeper tryouts.
Yes,
that was fun.
Yeah, the Kings actually. No, the Devils actually have actual critique on it. You have to have credentials to actually get a tryout. So, like, you have to have been like decent at some point.
Like, you have to have someone vouch for you.
Yeah, essentially, you've had to play high college. Hey, Kuznetsov scored, everybody. Caps Canadians playing tonight. Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, everybody down in Montreal. Who the hell is number 22? Why don't I have number? Listen. Don't be that way. Don't be that way.
The D is probably silent or something.
Juice. By the way, if Nathan Walker does not get on the Caps roster this year, I'll be fucking pissed.
He's
played
good.
Great. He's played solid. Also, those Adidas practice jerseys look slick. They look like the old center ice jerseys. Looking great. By the way, did you see the price point for a blank authentic Adidas jersey?
I did not. What is it?
$179.
Ugh. Looks like I'm not getting an Adidas jersey.
It's actually $50 cheaper than a blank Reebok jersey.
Is it really?
Yes. A blank authentic Reebok jersey would have ran you like $250.
I'm still not getting it, but that still seems pretty expensive.
The replica for the Reebok jerseys were $150, so or around $135. So you're paying like $35 more for an authentic with everything, all the bells and whistles as a pro jersey, but you're just not going to get your name on the back. Name on the back is like $224. So that's very cheap.
So Jews, by the way, number 29.
Okay,
Not
29.
20.
Do we have who's the 22 is?
No, I just found a picture. I looked up the one dude. So let's look at Caps roster currently. Madison Bowie.
Oh yeah. There you go.
W-E-Y. Madison Bowie.
Boy. I don't think that's kind of racist, actually.
Sorry,
he's a half white, half African American.
I did not realize.
Yes, African Canadian. Sorry, he's from Winnipeg. Also, Jonas Sigenhaler apparently is in big time. He's making an impression as well. Which, hey, anything to fall out that bottom that sixth defenseman will be great. So
I still want Aaron Ness to win this job.
Why is that?
Ness. Because I like Ness in Super Smash Brothers. It's my jam.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I thought it was because he took over Jeff Schultz's number and just erased that legacy. A lot of goaltenders in camp. Started with 7. So we'll see how that goes. You heard about these new rules? You hear about these? You enjoying these?
I did see that there were new rules.
Face-off violations catch the fever. Apparently, the face-off violation is the bane of everyone's existence, as has been called a ton of times this preseason. As I think most penalties are called in preseason really early to get people acclimated to, hey, this is what the rule's going to be. I think it's rule 76 point, I don't know. So failing to line up properly to play the puck, gloves slashing to the hands and stick, all possible face-off violations. That other one should be a slashing call more than a face-off violation. Brad Marchand calls it a joke. So there we go.
Oh, pot. Meat kettle.
He says it's Patrice. You're taking a lot of skill away from centermen by limiting what they're able to do. Being a centerman is a skill, and guys make a really good living at it. That's true, Yannick Perreault, but Yannick Perreault never cheated. Um,
Not that we know
so
of.
yeah.
He could have taken a lot of Adderall. I mean, you got to be
Oh.
really focused to keep winning faceoffs like that.
Oh, I think so too. So, I mean, there we go. The face-off violation being a thing. Congratulations, everybody. If you're ready to go, that's yeah. Let me see if I can find the actual rule. Everyone's saying the face-off. They're saying it's going great. They're saying it's nothing like the offsides rule at all, guys. Boy.
As long as there's not instant replay of faceoffs, I'm good with that.
So here we go. Per the NHL rulebook, there will be stricter enforcement of the face-off procedure, especially with respects to the markings inside the face-off dots. Under Section 76.4, the players will be instructed to set, so they will stand squarely facing their opponent's end of the rink and clear of the ice markings where applicable. The defensive player will be instructed to set his skates and stick. Then the offensive player will be set skates and stick, and then the puck shall be dropped. I made up that last part, so get ready. Face-off violation coming to a city near you real soon.
So is this meant to? There's some rules that I don't understand why they harp on them so much. Like if they want fans to be more involved, I get rule changes like tag up offsides and stuff like that to speed up the game and not wanting players to be injured. This particular rule change seems, I don't know, unnecessary. Like the
nitpicky.
The rules themselves were in place. The linesman just didn't call them. Well, just start calling rules like you're supposed to, and then you don't have to make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, but that'd be too easy. Like you have to make a big to do about this. And then we don't have to worry about people bitching to the media about guys getting an unfair advantage too. So
yeah, but okay, people are gonna bitch about getting unfair advantages all the time. That's what people do. It's like referees get that all the time. No matter, they could be the best referee in the world. They could have called the best game of all time, and everyone could be really super happy except the team that lost, because they're always gonna think it's the referee's fault no matter what.
Yeah, that's true. Well, why wouldn't you? You have to have someone to blame. So why won't you blame the refs? Before we get Lyle in here, or Lyle comes carrying it himself. Did you see the Matt Duchene photo?
I didn't. I need to find it now.
Yeah, I should have had it ready, and I could have shared it on Sky Screen Share. But my God, like he was doing the preseason pictures, and someone got a snapshot of it.
So I just looked up Matt Duchene images. Is there something in particular I should be looking for?
Yeah, you should. You should be looking for him in front of a green screen.
Oh boy. Matt Duchene.
Bring it up here. Gonna bring it up here in Scotty Screen Share for all you folks watching. So here we are. Matt Duchene, hostage in his own house. He looks like he's loving life right there. He looks like he's loving the Colorado Avalanche. He's loving where he's at. He's loving that he doesn't have an A on his jersey anymore. He's loving that he hasn't gotten traded yet.
He has a big A on his jersey.
Well, not the small A. He's having the time of his life, really. Let's look at him. Eyes tell the tale. Although in that, I think it's a bad thing because look intimidating as Imagine Dragons play in the background. Like that's kind of what you have to do in that instance. So it's probably not that he's dead inside.
No, that was just a poorly timed photograph.
Or perfectly timed.
When you see the whole thing in action, it'll make sense.
I'm sure it will. But the biggest thing is that when he gave his media conference first day of training camp, he just said, "I'm just here for my teammates." He did a Marshawn Lynch, and it's just like, I'm just here so I don't get fined, guys. I don't know what to tell you. What can you do? I don't know. We'll talk to Laura Richardson about it. So I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't.
That's what I was going to ask.
What do you mean?
Is it just you? But what?
Is it me, or is Matt Duchene just not as good as people think he is?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, is it just me or has hockey season snuck up on us? Yeah, I agree. Matt Duchene is was supposed to be a better. I think the problem is we expected more out of him. It's not that he's not a great player, but we all expected more out of him.
That's a fair assessment. We expected him to be better than his best. He's an undersized guy, 5'11", 195. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, I thought I don't see the hype in him. Third pick overall. I mean, I don't see. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I have it. Maybe it's because I don't care to watch the Avalanche because A, they're god terrible, and B, their announcers Altitude TV is just a bunch of homers. Like, and that's just ugh. I can't deal with that garbage. Can't deal with that. Yeah, it seems like he had a bit of a drop off. Kind of bounced back 2 years ago, 30 goals. But after that, like, yeah, he's kind of meh.
It's nothing to shake a stick at, you know.
No,
30 goals is
30 goals is great.
Year.
It's a great year. On a team like Colorado, it's a fantastic year. But like his other goal totals, like his first year, 24 goals, 27, then 14, albeit in 58 games. 17 and 47, that's pretty good. 43 points in 47 games, that's pretty damn good. Then 23 and 71, 21 and 82, 30 and 76, and 18 and 77. He was 60th in Lady Bing voting last year, ladies and gentlemen, if you're scoring at home or even if you're alone.
Why do they even keep track of that much? That many people?
I don't know.
And as being the 60th most gentlemanly person in the league, does that mean you're still an asshole?
Possibly.
Because, I mean, if I'm the 60th ranked anything
in my
world, it's like you're the opposite of that thing.
Hold on, he was tied for 60th.
So he's just, I mean, he's equally an asshole with someone else.
With 10 other people. He was tied with 10 other people.
Why do they even vote on Lady Bing? Why don't they?
Why is a goalie? Wait, what? Oh, why is a goalie? Sergei Bobrovsky was tied for 60th. How is a goalie most gentlemanly?
That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, maybe he just didn't swing his stick at somebody all year. Maybe.
That's bizarre.
I don't know. Yeah, why don't they just take make the eligibility requirement for Lady Bing like 15 games, and then take the average penalty minutes per player, and then just like give it to the guy who has the least penalty minutes. Why is there even voting on this?
I don't know.
Everything else is stat based except for the Norris Trophy, which is pretty much stat based.
Well, I would love to see like the points total. It usually goes to the top scoring defenseman,
but it doesn't.
It shouldn't,
quote unquote, go to the top scoring defenseman, but it almost always does.
Almost always. Last year it did. Brent Burns had 29 goals last year. That's amazing.
Yeah, Matt Duchene had more goals than Brent Burns. He's pretty good.
No. Brent Burns had more goals than Matt Duchene.
Oh. I thought you said he scored 30 goals.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Oh. Last year only scored 17.
Well, Brent Burns didn't outscore Matt Duchene from 2 years ago.
That's just a good point. Good point, Mark.
I mean,
though he did have more points than Matt Duchene had points 2 years ago. Point is this, ladies and gentlemen. Mark's right. Mark's absolutely right.
We should cut that and make that a drop.
Yeah, Mark's right. Nice research. Look at Frank Selke Award. There's guys tied for 48th in the Frank Selke Award.
Yeah, I still don't understand that. Like, I get the defensive forward thing. Like, I understand why that's important, and it's so difficult to quantify. That award is so subjective.
Like, what are the metrics? Like, how do we figure this whole thing out?
I know, I watch a game and I know when a center is playing really good defense. You can see it with your eyes, but it's hard to tell when one center is playing better defense than another center. At least to me. I don't know. Maybe somebody needs to point out some specific things that one center is doing that another center might not be doing to play good defense. Because you talk about guys that are blocking shots. Like you don't really normally see centers blocking shots, but like wingers that block a lot of shots, I'd consider them maybe Selke finalists. Why wouldn't I feel like it's a lot of centers that just skate back in their zone a lot. It's not two-way centers. You got guys like, I guess, Kopitar is considered a Selke finalist almost every year.
Yeah.
What makes him better defensively than like a Nick Backstrom, who
The
probably
forecheck.
he controls the puck so well that there's oftentimes not a lot of need to to back check aggressively.
And isn't that a defensive stance too? If you're able to protect the puck like that, isn't that a
That's
defensive?
sort of what I'm saying, but it's hard to quantify that. I don't know. Somebody needs to describe this to me. Lyle, describe this to me.
With all this fancy, he's not here yet, but with all this
I know.
fancy stats, we should be able to have a metrics for that. I don't know.
With your advanced stats, people, give me advanced stats on Selkies. Tell me what I'm watching in order to get a Selkie winner. Tell me why one is better than the next.
Well, Lyle Richardson is better than the next guest we have. We don't have any next guests, so that's why he's one of one. Lyle Richardson, SpectreShockey.net. Good evening, Lyle. We're talking award voting and what makes someone better than a Selkie than another.
What makes one Selkie winner better than another?
Better than the other nominees.
Yeah, like there's 3 people who some people just decided that we're better at playing defensive hockey as a forward than the other people that are also playing defensive hockey as a forward. I don't get it. There's no quantifiable measure for me, other than maybe plus minus. But even that is a terrible
you
measure.
can't use plus minus. Well, I mean, there's a lot of factors I think you got to throw in there. First of all, you got to look at, I would say, takeaways. That's considered a defensive stat. You also have to look at shorthanded ice time. I think that's a consideration. Face-off win percentage should come into that as well, though that tends to favor centers more than anything else. But if you look at the Selkie Award winners, they almost overwhelmingly seem to be centers. Yeah, but I think that's for obvious reasons.
But then you get centers aren't typically the ones that are laying down to block shots. That's usually wingers, and wingers. There are a lot of wingers that block a lot of shots.
Yeah, and there's a lot of centers who do as well. So, but to your point, though, I think that's a fair point to make as well. But then again, I mean, again, you have to look at it, those other factors that I noted. I mean, time on ice, especially in shorthanded situations, face-off win percentage, block shots. I think takeaways is a worthy, something that's a worthwhile defensive stat. I mean, it's not not the only one you should hang your hat on, but it's certainly, I think, a lot better than, say, plus minus. But, I would say, you throw a lot of those factors in there. That should be a determining factor, though it also tends to seem to favor more two-way players as well in a lot of cases. But there's also, you also have to kind of look, I think, at kind of an eyeball test there, too. You look at a guy like Sergei Fedorov, for example, in his prime when he won the Selkie, he was also one of the Red Wings' best, offensive players as well.
Yeah.
So
he played defense for a year.
Yeah. Dougie Gilmore was another one that springs to mind. Jonathan Toews and Jonathan Toews, Patrice Bergeron, they fall into that category. Anze Kopitar as well. As I said, sometimes you can look at your eyes. You can trust your eyes to tell you who's also a strong defensive forward.
2-part trivia question.
Sure.
Of last year's voting,
Mm-hmm.
of the top 10 of votes for the Frank J. Selkie Trophy,
Mm-hmm.
how many of those were wingers? We'll start with Lyle.
How many of those were wingers? I will say
top 10.
Of the top 10, I'm going to say none.
None. Mark.
I'm gonna go 1 to Price is Right, Lyle.
And Mark properly prices right. Some 1.
Oh,
2-part
well
question.
done, Mark.
Name that winger.
Ooh.
Mark.
Ooh.
Name that winger. That winger. Defensive forward.
Not
winger.
Kip Winger. I will not accept Kip Winger.
That's a tough one.
I don't know. West Coast or East Coast? Or you're not going to tell us? Just don't tell us. Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
I do. What conference?
We're looking in the Eastern Conference.
Eastern
All
Conference.
right, Lyle, you go.
Eastern.
So there's more teams in this one. So you get
Eastern.
2 more teams in the West.
Eastern.
Eastern.
I'm guessing. Okay, let's do a quick process elimination. I'm guessing he doesn't play for the. Oh, yeah, I'm guessing he doesn't play for the Buffalo Sabres.
This is not a 20 questions.
Well, I'm making it that way because this is hard.
Yourself then.
Yeah.
I give up. I don't know who.
Mark, you gonna feign a guess?
I'm drawing a blank here.
All right.
Yeah, so am I.
Boyd Gordon. That's not
Close. Not really. Mark Stone. Mark Stone of the
Ooh,
Ottawa.
excellent choice. Yeah. I'm surprised that I did not get that because I've been making the case for him to be at least a finalist for the Selkie for the last 2 years.
So
Very deserving.
Lau gets tripped up by his own articles.
Yes, hoisted on my own petard.
He was 6th in voting. No first place votes. A ton of
But he
fourth
should
place
be.
votes.
He's a leader in takeaways. He's among the leaders for forwards and block shots. You know, he plays a lot of. He sees a lot of shorthand, a lot of penalty killing time. He has a lot of time on a penalty kill.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, hopefully he'll have his day.
He will have his day. Well, before you got on here, we're looking at just how great Matt Duchene was loving first day at camp.
I was loving the memes that came from his sad picture.
Oh man,
my favorite one was the one that was the guy who quoted, and I retweeted the guy who quoted the opening lyrics to the song "Mad World." Yeah, that one was right in the fields. Yeah.
Lyle, what's the update on Matt Duchene's situation?
Oh my God, situations day to day.
85 teams, Lyle. 85
Day to day.
teams
85. No, that's 8. That's 8.
Oh,
This situation is day to day.
8. Yes, he is putting himself as day to day in
very
terms
sad.
of his future. It's
Jersey
day-
Shore did not treat him
day
well.
to day.
No,
The thing is, some more teams got tossed into the mix.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the usual suspects are there: Carolina, of course, Nashville, Montreal, your Columbus Blue Jackets, and of course, everyone's favorite, your New York Islanders. But so Canadian teams get tossed into the mix there. Ottawa Senators said to be aggressively pursuing Matt
Hold on,
Duchene.
real quick before we get on with this. Lyle said the Montreal Canadiens, and he also said, and then some Canadian teams were in the mix.
Okay, other
Forgetting
Canadian teams.
Montreal, okay.
Yes, I know. Good point. Other Canadian teams. Well, they're so easy to miss, buried all the way down there. But anyway, other Canadian teams. Other Canadian teams besides Montreal. Well, no. See, here's my difference. There's Canadian teams, and then there's the Canadiens. So there's my excuse. No, I think I should have had that. Come up with that a little quicker. Yeah, that would have been a good dodge if it had been like about a minute earlier. Anyway, Ottawa Senators supposedly aggressively pursuing. Also linked to the Vancouver Canucks and Calgary Flames for God knows what reason, and the Los Angeles Kings were tossed in there. I think probably for the fact they need scoring as well. But apparently, most of those general managers aren't really confident that they're going to be able to get Duchene because, of course, that asking price remains quite high.
Well, I heard that even with the Ottawa Senators, what they were going to give in return, the Avalanche went at 2,000 seats, not 1,500. So that was
and that was the deal breaker right there.
Yeah,
that was the deal breaker. Yeah, they wanted 2,000 seats and Cody Cicci, and that was
Is correct me for ignore my ignorance here because I don't want.
You're not ignorant at all, sir. Please go ahead.
Is Matt Duchene as good as his asking price?
No.
Okay.
Not now. If this was a year ago, I would say, you could make that case because he was coming off 30-goal season. That was a career high for him. He had been skating. He played for Team Canada a couple of times now. So obviously he had his value was quite high. But one bad season and a whole lot of moping later, and no, his value isn't up there. Not yet. I think what teams want to see, there are teams interested in him. I honestly, I wholeheartedly agree with those pundits that are saying that, there's probably 6, 8 maybe even 10 teams that'd be interested. And a lot of those teams have various degrees of interest, and I'm sure every one of them each one would love to land Matt Duchene. But I think that those teams right now, they want to see how he's going to perform, because he's clearly not a happy camper. And you know, that's a big part of it. I mean, is he just going to mope and sulk and just not put in his best, or despite everything hanging over his head, is he going to go out and play well? Is he going to have a bounce back performance? If it looks like he is, if he has a strong camp, and I think if he starts the season well, then I think you're going to see more teams start to be maybe a little more inclined to pay that asking price, or at least close to it. But right now, this current stage, no, he's not worth that. And he's going to have to really be impressive over the next few weeks in order to convince a rival general manager that he is worth it.
That's going to be the hard part.
Oh, yeah.
Because it seems like his attitude is such garbage that no one wants to, you know. Can he get out of that, I guess?
Well, apparently, I mean, he's skating well with his teammates. He's looking good on the ice. Reports out of training camp so far is that his attitude does not appear to be a problem amongst his teammates or affecting his play. But training camp's one thing. You know, let's see how he looks in preseason. Let's see how he looks when the season begins. You know, because at this stage, I can see this going on, dragging on into the start of the season, the opening weeks of the season.
$6 million hit the next 2 years, ladies and gentlemen, if you're scoring at home, or even if you are alone. All right, so the other news of the week, we talked about David Pastrnak last week. Lyle said, hey, we might wake up tomorrow and he'll be signed. If you woke up in the mid-afternoon, then that was true.
Which I often do.
Mid-afternoon Eastern time, Lyle, not garbage out in the ocean time.
Yeah.
6.666 million.
He's the spawn of Satan. There you go.
He is. Well, there you go. 6 years. About where you thought, right?
Yeah, that pretty much hit the sweet spot of where we thought it was going to be, between 6.57 mil a season. 1 year less than I thought he would probably get. I thought it would be, 7. But hey, not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. It's considerably less than what some folks thought the ask would be, 7.5. I was thinking he would be closer to 7, but yeah, they definitely got him, at a reasonable deal. If he performs as well as he's projected to over the period of that 6 years, then that's going to be a bargain signing, especially when you consider if he performs as well as everybody expects him to be, he's going to be seeking considerably more on his next contract.
Oh, yes, sir. And by that time, he'll be right in the start of his prime, or in the midst of his prime.
Oh, Dr. Willie
21. 21 is going to leave this new
so he'll be 27 in first year eligibility for UFA status. Well,
Perfect.
Actually, that's wrong. No, his first year of eligibility was actually be 25 because he started out at 18.
Yeah.
So this drags on actually into his first 2 years of eligibility, but still 27 for most players. That's normally their start of UFA eligibility. So either way, he's going to cash in big.
Yeah. Mo money.
Mm-hmm.
Barring anything significant happen, of course.
Of course.
As is with everything. But I do like the fact that the Bruins have a guy named Jakob Forsbacka Karlsson.
Or JFK.
JFK. You know how much the Bostonians love JFK.
Oh, my Lord, yes. Yeah.
Era, I'm going to score for this goal now.
Era.
And a kid named Charlie McAvoy. Like,
Oh,
this
Quimby.
couldn't be a more Boston team.
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
With JFK and some kid from Southie.
Named McAvoy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just
McAvoy, McQuaid.
McQuaid.
McShara.
Yeah. McChara, McBergeron, McMarchand. No, that's
Frankie
Mac
Vetrano.
Marchand. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mac Marchand.
Mac Marchand. Mac Sean.
Of the Scottish Marchands, the Scottish Marchands from just outside Bridgewater, Nova Scotia. Yeah.
Here's the only problem that I see: a lot of no movement clauses.
A lot of those were handed out by his predecessor. A lot of them by Don Sweeney's predecessor.
Although it's not looking that bad for the Marchand no movement, although that was signed last year.
Yeah, that's a Sweeney special, but
Yeah, the
still.
David Backus one. Who?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you're allowed to have little rookie mistakes, but hey, listen, again, that Pasternak deal though, that's a feather in the cap for Mr. Sweeney. Starts to, hey, I think for some of his critics there in Boston are starting to think, hey, maybe this guy ain't so fucking stupid after all. I don't know why they're saying it in a Brooklyn accent, but there you go.
Kind of weird. Kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
Before we get too deep into other things, the forecast for Calgary: 10 centimeters of snow and squabbling between the city and the team.
Yes, I was listening in as I do. I have to disagree with you, gentlemen,
Please do.
with your take on that.
Please do.
Okay.
Because you know much more about the commerce
Okay.
of Calgary because you lived there for so many years.
Well, no, yeah,
well-
but you lived there for so many years, much
Yeah, I
more
didn't
than me,
I didn't
and
give a
much
shit
more
about
recently.
it. I didn't give a shit about politics, so that's the problem.
Okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Let me just break it down for you
Like-
as I read it off here. Very, very. Okay, Calgary offering the equivalent of 185 million to cover the cost of a 555 million dollar arena. Plus, they would also pay for indirect costs such as upgrading utilities and infrastructure related to the new facility, which would be located in Victoria Park near downtown. Scotty, you know where that is.
Yeah, but Victoria Park already has a stop on the C train. It's not that let's not say we're going to upgrade the C train. and that's right
but there's more.
down.
Much
Oh,
more.
please go on.
The rest would come from the team and a surtax on ticket sales. Now that I believe was Mark's bone of contention there, the surtax on ticket sales.
I think Mark said something to the point where he feels like if you're a season ticket holder, you're getting the surcharge and then having like whatever else.
You got to pay as a
Now,
citizen,
you could-
and you got to pay as a season
Now-
ticket holder.
Now that would be something that you could make a case that perhaps both sides here could work on that a part of it. But the rest would come. Okay, the proposed taxpayer contribution represents about a fifth of what the province of Alberta would spend between now and 2021 building, renovating public schools across the province. But that's not all that the Flames wanted. Okay, that wasn't good enough. Okay, for the Calgary Flames. All right, because here's some of the other things here. I'm just pulling some of this stuff up here now, just to throw it in here. The city's also offering $30 million of free land, basically to build that new stadium. $30 million free, basically free demolition of the existing Saddle Dome, and basically a free loan in the form of the $130 million repayable contribution, plus broad control of revenues and control of the new infrastructure for the surrounding area. That was not good enough for the Calgary Flames. Okay? The Flames don't want to pay any rent. They don't want to pay any property tax. They want free transit to the game for the fans on game nights, and they will not pay for a police presence. Okay? They would also like to have a veto over the eventual development of the area around the new arena. And oh, by the way, basically, we want the city to pay more.
Of all of that, I can understand the veto of things around there. That I kind of
agree to a
degree,
degree,
yes.
but when you throw everything else in, it's just like, no, sorry. And listen,
Is that where Ken King got his 120%?
Yeah.
Okay.
and here's the thing, the Calgary Flames are owned by oil billionaires. Okay, these
With a
are
B.
very, very rich, wealthy people. Why are they coming cap in hand and demanding more and threatening to move, which everybody knows they're not moving? That team isn't going anywhere. They are staying in Calgary. This is just the same old song and dance that every team owner does when he wants a new building. It's basically a shakedown of the municipal government, and that's all it is. You would be hard-pressed to find people who support what the Flames are trying to do here. Okay, the polls in Calgary right now, voters, no, do not want to front that bill. No way. No way.
Well, no, why would they? The city's in goddamn disarray because the oil's not there no more.
Yeah.
There's nobody's
Well,
got jobs.
the oil is there, the jobs are there, everything like that. This is part of their usual boom and bust cycle. It's actually coming back. They're hiring again out in the oil patch. So
Lyle,
it's going to slowly but surely come
Bucks-
back.
Ralph Bucks, where I got free $400, ain't caulking through that door.
Yeah. But anyway, the bottom line is that this is just the usual shakedown. There's no reason for them for the Flames to make these kind of ridiculous ultimatums and basically throw a temper tantrum. I'm surprised they haven't trotted O'Brien Burke yet for this, because this is his speciality. But anyway, they're letting King be the bad guy here. But, you know, this is something that it's going to take time, but it's going to be sorted out. Like I said last week, what this amounts to right now is the Flames are hoping to turn this into an election issue that will either result in the current mayor Nenshi, being voted out, which, according to recent polls, seems highly unlikely because he's very popular there, or that it results in a change of sufficient members in the city council toward the type that would, you know, be more receptive to paying out more to build a new arena for the Flames. That's what this is all about. And if none of that happens, then they'll try a different tack. But the Flames aren't going anywhere. They're not moving. Eventually, this will get sorted out. Just like this just puts me in mind of Edmonton. Okay. Now I realize there was some differences there. Yes, in Edmonton, you had a city mayor there who was far more willing to pay more to a pharmaceutical billionaire to get his precious new arena built. But at the end of the day, it got done. But this was the same sort of nonsense. I mean, the city council, the mayor wanted to do it, but the Edmonton City Council didn't want to do it at the time. And then you had what's his name? His name was before him. The owner of the friggin' Oilers. Help me out.
Daryl Cates.
Thank you. Basically, he was doing pretty much the same sort of thing, having his little hissy fit. You even had the Oilers management at one point, down in Seattle, looking at their arena or looking at facilities there and, touring the city. No reason, just cause. And everybody saw that for what it was. It was a blatant attempt to try and frighten the city of Edmonton into caving. But eventually, they got a deal struck that was pretty much, if memory serves, about 50-50 split, and they got it done. And that's ultimately what you're going to see here, is it's going to be probably a 50-50 split, and it'll get done. But right now, as you said, we're going to have to put up with this nonsense for another couple of years, especially when Nenshi gets reelected, which is going to happen. So,
Here,
go ahead.
Here it is in black. First off, I love my idea of just the Flames paying for it and then just giving a middle finger to the city. I would love that.
Why is that? I don't understand that analogy. How are they giving them the middle finger?
I don't know, because Brian Burke will find a way to do it.
All right.
It's more for the lulz, Lyle, than this.
Gotcha.
You can bet that people will, and this is going to be the funniest part, is that I can guarantee you Brian Burke and Ken King will go to Kansas City at least 3 times this year.
Oh yeah. I can definitely, or they'll go
more.
or they'll go to Seattle too. Once
they're going to Kansas City because their farm team's in Kansas City, but people will not remember that, and they'll blow that out of proportion.
Gotcha. Understood. Yeah.
Thirdly, are we in agreement they need a new building though, right? Like that's like something has to give here.
Yeah, I mean, look, nobody is disagreeing that they don't. Mayor Nenshi isn't sitting there saying that's absurd. You don't need a new building. Everything's fine. No. They know they need a new building, right? They understand that. It's just, as I said, the Flames basically want the city to pick up more of the tab. They want more goodies. They want more tax breaks. People say, well, why shouldn't the city pick up the cost of free transit for their fans to go to the games? What's that got to do with anything? I mean, that money doesn't go to the Flames. Exactly. If the fans have free transit to the games, then the money they would have spent on the C train and taking the cab and a bus and blah blah blah, they now go to use it to spend in the arena on overpriced drinks and food and overpriced souvenir swag. That's why they want, the city to pick up the tab for a free transit to the game. Okay, that's why they want all these goodies. So it's more money for them, which is kind of rich because the Flames are in a strong hockey market. They finished in the top 10 in attendance. They finished in the top 10 in operating revenue last season. So, it's not as if they're suffering. But yes, they do need to get a new venue, a new arena. That everybody can agree on.
Well, there has to be. I mean, that thing. That thing is terrible.
It's terrible.
God awful. Let's see. Yeah. Just like, you know what? Screw you, fancy nerds. I'm going to trade all your beloveds, starting with Jason Demers, who was traded to Arizona for Jamie McGinn.
Mhm.
Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. Now tell me, is this just basically Talon saying, I'm going to put my fingerprints back on this team?
Oh yeah. You definitely get the sense that if he had been the GM, he wouldn't have made that signing for Jason Demers. Jason Demers was not his guy. In fact, before he did the Jamie McGinn deal, he tried to ship Demers to Vancouver to try and bring back Eric Goodbranson. Okay, a guy he did not want to trade. He wants him back. So there's that situation there. They moved Demers, bring in Jamie McGinn. It's a hockey trade, but it's definitely a trade, I think, that makes the Arizona Coyotes a lot better on defense.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're the big winners out of that. It does free up some money for the Panthers, frees up some cap space. I mean, they retained a bit of Demers' annual cap hit over the remaining 4 years of his contract, but not a whole lot. I'm trying to find some positives here for the Panthers with this. Listen, McGinn's a good, feisty checking line forward. He has a decent scoring touch. He's not going to hurt them. But this trade definitely makes the Coyotes better defensively.
Their defense is looking pretty good.
It is, isn't it?
That top four looks nice.
Yeah, well, compared to what they had a year ago, it's a hell of a lot better. I mean, now it's Ekman Larson, Goligoski, Demers, and Hjalmarsson.
Yep, Super
Plus,
Nintendo Hjalmarsson. Kevin Connaughton is there. Chikrin's there.
Yeah, well, and Chikrin now, I mean, you can take some pressure off of him. I mean, now you don't have to rush him back from his knee injury. He can take his time, heal up properly, rehab, come back, and now you can ease him into the lineup into a third pairing role, and you don't overuse him because Chikrin did acquit himself well, I thought, last season as a rookie. But yeah, you don't want to saddle him with too much too soon, or else you also risk hurting his development. So all of a sudden that blue line don't look too shabby.
Is this an ego thing for Talon? Is this him saying to Vinny Viola and the ownership group, listen, you take me out, you put this bullshit in here, I'm going to take it down from step one?
Well, as I said, I mean, Demers wasn't his guy. So I think this was just his way. Yeah, maybe in a way, a little ego thing. This is his way of kind of putting his stamp, I guess, a little further back on this roster.
Yeah. Makes sense. I didn't know that. Oh, God, Luongo's got 5 more years. That's a terrible deal.
Yeah.
Man, Vancouver, what were you thinking?
They weren't.
and if he retires, that goes back onto them, right? With the
most of it does. Oh yeah. Depending on when he retires. Yeah, you get into the final 3 years of it. I believe it's all on the Canucks then after that. So,
my God.
And even if he retires, say with 4 years left, very little of it gets tagged onto the Panthers. The bulk of it goes onto the Canucks.
Wow. How are you guys doing? Yeah, Jason Demers 500,000 retained by the Panthers.
Yeah, just give me a second here, and I can tell you.
Give you a second. I can all the time.
We'll do the breakdown. Break it down.
Oh. Can't touch this.
Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Wongo, where are you? Okay. Looking. Processing. Talk amongst yourselves.
Brought to
Processing.
you by Pentium Processing.
Okay, here we go. Thanks to our buddy Little Jimmy Myrtle, who's now the senior
Czar
editor.
he's
Oh,
Czar at
the
the Athletic.
czar of the Athletic. Here we go. Here's the breakdown. If Luongo retires, let's say he retires at the end of this season.
Oh,
All right.
Sure.
Salary cap recapture penalty. 4-year penalty. The Panthers would be tagged 1.4 million, a little over 1.4 million. The Canucks at 2.1 million. If he retires in 2019, that would leave a 3-year penalty term. The Panthers 1.2 million, just a little over. The Canucks at 2.84 million. If he retires in 2020, which is when I could see him retiring, 2 years left. The Vancouver Canucks over 4.2 million. For your Florida Panthers, just over 73,000.
Wow.
And if he retires in 2021, full cap hit, $8.5 million salary cap recapture penalty for the Canucks. Nothing for the Panthers. That
This
is
makes
the breakdown.
No sense financially.
I know. Somebody took a risk. Whoa. So as you can see, yeah, it's definitely. I mean, the Canucks will be hoping that he retires sooner rather than later, while the Panthers will hope that he can drag it on until at least I think the end of 2019, maybe 2020. If he goes into a backup role, but I think 2019 they could live with like a $1.4 million hit. I'm pretty sure they can handle that.
It's
Or
fine.
even 2, but yeah. But
God.
oh boy, if he retires with 1 year left on his contract, if you're the Canucks,
Who
ouch.
agreed to that, right? That makes no financial sense. A depreciating asset. You
Well,
pay more for it over the course of its life.
Well, remember, I mean, this was a contract that was signed during the previous CBA, so there was no such thing as a salary cap recapture penalty back then. And the reason why that was a heavily front-loaded contract, as we all know, to make it a lower annual average value. So when the CBA, this CBA got implemented, salary cap recapture is what kicked in for all those heavily front-loaded contracts under the previous CBA. And also, fun fact, it also affects front-loaded contracts under this CBA too.
Ooh.
Just not as heavily, but it does affect those as well.
There you go, kids.
So there you go. So, and you're gonna sign your guy to a 8-year deal, and you're gonna heavily front-load it, in the first 4 years of it. You better hope he doesn't retire prematurely, or you're gonna get tagged with the old cap recapture, which will stay
Good
on the
old
books
cap recapture.
forever.
Exactly. Just ask Rick DiPietro.
Mhm.
That's Bobby Bonilla, for Christ's sake.
Ooh, nothing's like Bobby Bonilla. Oy, oy, oy.
Eh.
I can't believe. Is he still? Is that done yet?
2035. 2035.
2035. DiPietro's is done, isn't it? Or close.
DiPietro. No. Well, his was a non-compliance.
Let's have a boo. Islanders cap friendly. Our good buddy cap friendly.
28, 29.
Yep. But they don't get tagged with any penalty though.
No, it's $1.5 million each year.
Yeah.
So yeah, because that was the
2021. But buyout history. So yeah, 2020, 29. You are correct, sir. Well, the cost is 1.5 mil, but they do not incur
get
a
hit.
cap hit. They
that
just
was
have
their
to pay.
compliance.
Yeah, they have to pay 1.5 mil a season. That's correct. Yeah. So there. Here
Must
we
be
go,
nice.
kids.
I need to get some kind of gig like that where it's just buy me out of my
man.
deal and I get to sit around and paid do radio. It's weird considering he's like 2 years older than we are. Well, no,
And he was a running theme for a long time under one of our favorite segments. Is Rick DiPietro injured?
I think I might cut this one here. No, I don't. I don't fuck with it.
That was one of our favorite segments.
Yeah, exactly. That was a cornerstone, as the kids like to call it.
Damn. That resulted in one of my favorite lines where it's like, yeah, Rick DiPietro is so fragile, he's made out of porcelain and kitten tears.
Porcelain and kitten tears. Put it
Yep.
on a t-shirt for a little. So
Oh, God, yeah.
we don't put anything on a t-shirt anymore. You seen the price of a t-shirt these days, people?
Good God. Good God.
Good God. Good God, Joe. Some extensions. Mika Koivu signed 2 years, $11 million. Brian Little 6-year deal. Brian Little, obviously, he is going to be a big cog in this team.
Very underrated part of that club. And yeah, he, and hey, you gotta give it up to him. He wants to finish his career with the Jets. Looks like he's going to get his wish. Obviously, he's not going to be able to keep putting up points in the level he is once you get to the final 2-3 years of that deal. But excuse me, Kevin Cheveldayoff is happy with how his complete game, as he calls it. Good two-way center. So obviously, he feels that's money well spent. And as you said, yeah, at least for the next 3 years, yeah, he should be a vital part of the Jets' hopeful ongoing development.
It's a team going nowhere for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh man, that's what I loved about one of the few things I loved that came in the aftermath of Bobby the Brain Heenan's death was somebody dug up a wonderful thing with him and Gene Okerlund. You could tell that was back with their AWA days, based out of Minnesota, because they knew who the Jets were. Winnipeg Jets. This is old Winnipeg Jets. They're like, oh, Bobby, he should go play for the Jets. They go, chase the puck that way, chase the puck that way. Oh, come on, Bobby, the Jets are going to be a great team. It's just, you were the one who dug that up, weren't you?
I found it from someone else.
Oh man, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. But you could definitely tell that was vintage AWA. But yeah, even back then, the Jets were getting to business.
Oh yeah, and everyone forgets about him. It's amazing. It's amazing, but shouldn't be shocking either. I don't know.
But we will never forget Bobby the Brain Heenan. That's for sure.
Nope, definitely.
If I may say, just quick side note.
Broadcasting.
There you go.
Arms ready to go.
Absolutely humanoids. Yep.
It was funny because it's funny because I was thinking the other day or before his death, I'm like, I wonder what Brain's up to. I wonder what he's been up to. Because he was in such bad health for the longest time.
Oh my lord, yeah. Somebody had a video up of him, I guess, at an autograph show, I guess 2 years ago. He'd been battling cancer for a long time, and yeah, he could tell he was in a lot of pain for that one toward the end. But for a lot of years, man, well, he was such a big part of back when it was WWF, back when we all loved it, back in the late 80s, early 90s. And he and Gorilla Monsoon, man, they were comedy gold together. So,
oh yeah,
as I said, beloved.
Yeah, it is what it is. Then here we are.
I just love the fact that after this was the thing I love about wrestling. After these heels retire and they've been away from the spotlight for a while, and then they come back for like a Hall of Fame thing or something like that, and the fans just love them. There's just this huge outpouring. After Heenan passed away, like you go through and you see some of the videos, things like that. One of them was when he came out to introduce, to induct Nick Bockwinkel about 10 years ago in the WWE Hall of Fame. And he comes out and the fans are chanting, Bobby, Bobby, Bobby. So he starts doing like the Hogan, hand to the ear. And then he goes, thank you, drive safe. And turns around and starts walking away. It's just like, oh yeah, that's classic Heenan. But
good for him.
Oh yeah. Never forgotten.
Absolutely. And we're getting to that heyday where a lot of the people we know are going to start getting older as time does.
Well, yeah. Well, Nature Boy, Ric Flair. He had a big major health scare a month ago. And yeah, well, they're all getting up there. Hogan's in his 60s now. A lot of them that I was following back in the 80s. They're all in their 60s and 70s now. So yeah, you're getting to that time of life.
Yeah, it's fun times had by all.
Well, and with all the wear and tear that they put their bodies through back in the day, when them reaching their 60s is, you almost get the sense they're on borrowed time. Yeah.
Your bump card go ahead and fills up, and
awfully fast. Yeah.
Here we are. But teams aren't naming captains, Lyle. Are you shocked by this, or is it like, that's right for this
Well,
team?
well, it depends on the team, obviously. I mean, the Maple Leafs aren't doing it yet because I don't think they don't want to rush the coronation of Austin Matthews just yet, which I think makes sense. I mean, a lot of people were expecting that Matthews was going to get named because we've also seen it's almost like the Leafs are kind of flouting the trend, if you will, of making young superstars a team captain. Because we had Connor McDavid was named team captain, one of the youngest in NHL history, just a little over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they just want to they know that there's a lot of pressure on him right now going into his sophomore season when he had such a fantastic rookie season and so much is expected of them. But Leafs Nation lost their mind in a recent preseason game. He was wearing an A for alternate, so I think that we're going to see him as probably part of that of a four-headed leadership group for a while. But they seem to be doing that more. Or if you're a rebuilding team as well, I think there's also that as well. Rebuilding clubs are also kind of like, well, we're not in any hurry to name a captain yet. We're waiting for one to emerge, blah, blah, blah. So that seems to be a trend. Either you have a proven bona fide superstar and you make him captain right away because you think he can handle it or you hope he can, or you go, whoa, we'll go by leadership by committee for a little while and then we'll decide.
Yeah, and that's why I like the whole idea of the Vegas Golden Knights saying we're not going to name a captain. It's like, no, you really shouldn't. No, you really should not name a captain. I don't know why even think about naming a captain. Yeah.
I just like the fact that the Golden Knights are trolling other teams already, on Twitter. I mean, yeah, granted, I mean, sure, it's just, it's silly trash talk and things like that. But I just like the fact that, hey, good use of social media. Go ahead. You're the upstarts and new kids on the block. Chirp these guys. I mean, listen, they're going to face a lot of pain this season.
Oh, yeah.
And the season after that and the season after that. So why not have a bit of fun while you're in the midst of your growing pains, I just hope they can keep being as cheeky and still be able to laugh and have the ability to laugh at themselves when things get tough. Yeah.
God willing. Still sick of them.
Oh, I know. I loved your piece on that, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I'm tired of it.
Which I share with my readers.
Yeah,
you're not the only person I think that feels that. Me, I don't care. It's just like, yeah, okay, Golden Knights, sure, expansion team, whatever, yickety yakety. I hope they make a go of it. Good luck to them. I don't want to see any team that goes into a new market, a brand spanking new market. I don't want to see them fail. Like I said, even despite the fiasco with the Coyotes and everything else, I'm still pulling for them. I'm still hoping that they can pull this out. But yeah, but anyway,
do they finish better than the Canucks and the Avalanche?
Coyotes?
No, the Golden Knights.
Golden Knights? No.
Wow.
No.
I say Avalanche, yes, they finish better than the Avalanche, but not the Coyotes.
How about the Canucks?
No, I think the Canucks are going to be a better team. I think the Canucks are going to be they're going to be a better team this year. New coach, some new blood coming in there. Brock Boeser.
Besser.
Thank you. Brock Besser.
Yeah, the O and E is
the O is
silent.
The O is silent. It is Brock Besser. I just see the O and it's like Boeser and it's like Besser. Right. Besser. Whatever. Stop putting words in there that we can't pronounce.
You mean letters?
Thank you. That too. Anyway, shut up.
Loud part of the scenes, ladies and gentlemen.
I have not been drinking. Shut up. Anyway,
you've been drinking. Anything we haven't hit on yet, Lyle? Your thoughts on the face-off violations? You love them?
Oh, for God's sake! If the NHL can find ways to screw things up, who
needs flow to a game?
Oh God, heaven forbid! Jeez, it's bad enough we're seeing uncalled obstruction creeping back into the game. Hey, let's slow it down even more. By having really chintzy, stupid face. I don't see that rule lasting very long. I really don't see that rule lasting very long. Say, well, we want to crack down on cheaters in the face-off circle, blah, 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 blah. You know what? That's just because a few people whined. That's what that was. Some general managers whined, oh, Crosby cheats in the face-off circle, and this guy cheats in the face-off circle. Yeah, cheat better. Okay? Okay? All the great centers cheat in the face-off circle. You can go all the way back through history. They all cheated. Okay? Anything to get an edge. You know.
Well, I will not let you besmirch the good name of Yannick Perreault.
Hey,
That's a great
face-off man
name.
extraordinaire.
Exactly.
His,
Oh.
you know, after a while, that just became his sole reason for being signed. People, he can't score anymore, but he wins draws. We just
Exactly.
win a draw and then get his ass off the ice so we can get somebody on there who can score.
Fantasy hockey superstar Yannick Perreault.
Yes, fantasy hockey. I'm sure he would have been a coursing monster back in the day.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I know you don't, but anyway.
I don't know.
As I said, and I'm going to keep saying it, advanced stats have their place. They're part of the toolbox, but they are not the end-all and be-all for evaluating players. I mean, for God's sake, Alexander Semin.
Oh,
You guys remember? I mean, he doesn't. He can't even make the cut in the KHL. Can't even make the cut in the KHL. So I think it was a couple of weeks ago. Oh God, was it David Staple of the Edmonton Journal? Because David Staple is a guy who believes that advanced stats have their place, but they're not the end all and be all. He loves taking some of these guys to task who tend to be that way. And so he was saying, well, this should, like some of these Corsi gods and some of these guys got upset and actually still kept trying to justify their place, as if to basically say that, yeah, Alexander Semin is still a great player if you look at his advanced stats. It's just that the general managers and the coaches just can't see it. And it's just like, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't David Staple. It was our buddy Slava Malyamud. Yep, he was the one who was pointing that out after he noted that Semin couldn't even make the cut in the KHL.
Then he went on a rant about Alex Ovechkin being as good as same.
Well, with Slava sometimes, hey, but provocative, and he can be really funny as hell. So,
There you go.
as long as you got a good sense of humor. But anyway, but yeah,
Man.
I think to his point though, I mean, yeah, folks, it's like I said, it's not the end all and be all. You still have to be able to trust your eyes. You still have to be able to, how do you quantify, how can you measure, as they said, that, the guy's work ethic or what's in the guy's heart, if you will. It takes a lot more than just advanced stats, and sometimes advanced stats get it wrong.
Yep.
They get it wrong. A case in point again, I see so many people who rip on Chris Russell, on the Edmonton Oilers for re-signing Chris Russell. Now, was that contract a little expensive? Yes. I can see their gripe about how much it cost. But they sit down and go, can't believe they signed it. They signed it. What a waste of money. He's a terrible, his Corsi are terrible. Puck possession numbers are terrible. And it's like, did you not actually watch him play the game? Because the reason why they re-signed him is because every year for the last 4, he's led the league in blocking shots. And when you lead the league in blocking shots, you are a defenseman, okay? You're playing defense. That means your job, get the puck out of the zone as quickly as possible. And that's why his possession numbers aren't that good. But who cares if he's preventing shots and getting through the net and he's clearing the zone? That's his job. That's what they brought him in for. He played a role in improving the Edmonton Oilers last season. As much as the Corsi gods don't like to admit it, that's a fact. Chiarelli would not have re-signed him if Chris Russell was as bad as the Corsi gods believe that he is. Chiarelli's not a stupid man.
No.
Their head coach is not a stupid man. I mean, the coaching staff of the Oilers they're not stocked with idiots. Okay.
Anymore.
Thank you. But they believe their eyes as well as what stats are telling them. So I can guarantee you that Chris Russell's puck possession numbers had no factor in him being re-signed. His shot blocking and clearing and zone clearances, that had everything to do with it. Just saying.
Yeah, there you go.
Just saying.
Anything else we didn't touch? Andres Athanassiou. What's the KHL is looking at him?
Well, yeah, that one. You can really tell that this kid wants to stay with Detroit. I mean, apparently he got a 1-year, $3 million offer from AK Bars Kazan.
Oh,
that's I know that's the team that our buddy Jaromir Jagr played for about 10 years ago, which
everyone played for,
which we had a running gag going there for a while. It was the owner of AK Bars Kazan. Yeah.
No,
that was
from Omsk.
That's right. I'm sorry. My bad. That's what it was. Yeah.
Akbar Kazan is where every NHLer played, and they still couldn't win a KHL title.
Exactly. That's right. You're right. Again, I told you I haven't been drinking, but anyway,
Smart. I mean,
I should be. But yeah, if he really wanted that money, he would have signed by now. Right now, it's kind of a little bit of a standoff here. I think behind the scenes, I think Ken Holland is probably telling his agent, look, once we get, the cap space freed up, okay, we can sign him. We'll give him a little bit more than what we're publicly offering you right now, which I believe is 1.9 mil per season on a 2-year deal. Okay, which is higher than what he was getting before. If I was him, I'd take that. To tell you the truth, I'd take that. It's a decent raise. It's for 2 years. He builds up his repertoire. I mean, for God's sake, if you come out and if you tally 30 goals this year, believe me, the Wings will, Ken Holland will be falling all over himself to re-sign you to a more lucrative contract. So I think he really wants to stay in Detroit. I think they're just kind of waiting to see if they can free up a little more cap space to nudge that a little higher, a little above 2 mil a season, and then he resigns. Because, as I said, if he really wanted that KHL deal, he would have taken it by now.
exactly.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. Anything else we missed, Lyle?
Don't think so. The Sedins say they're not going to waive their no trade clause, and they want to retire in Vancouver regardless of whether they're a cup contender or not.
That's a shame.
Well, I'll tell you, I give them credit for nipping that whole they should accept a trade nonsense in the bud right now, because I actually 2 days before they actually wrote that piece in the Player Tribune, I wrote a piece on my site where I basically expected that they would face a lot of pressure this year from Canucks fans and from some pundits to do the right thing by the team and accept a trade for a return that will bring, prospects and draft picks and young players that can help accelerate the rebuild. Like what Matt Sundin faced in Toronto about a decade ago. We're pretty much about the same time. That's what I expected to see happen. And I think, the Sedins 2 days later, this thing gets released. So obviously they were thinking they were thinking about that long before I sat down and wrote that bit. And it was just like, let's nip this in the bud right now. They're not going anywhere. They don't want to leave. Don't ask, don't bother them. I'm sure there'll still be some, if this season goes badly, I'm sure there'll be some bitter Canucks fans that'll rip on them, but it's not going to reach the same level that it did with, for Sundin in Toronto a decade ago, where he got raked over the coals. I mean, just mercilessly by Leafs fans. He was accused of being selfish, being spoiled, that he wasn't putting the team first. He should have accepted a trade, helped the team, blah, blah, blah. Of course, now that he's in the Hall of Fame and all of that, well, of course, now all is forgiven. But yeah, Mats wasn't really feeling the love very much there in the latter part of 2007-08. And I think the Sedins saw what he went through, and they moved very quickly to make sure they don't face that same kind of nonsense.
How do you think they wrote that for the Players Tribune? Did Daniel take the vowels and Henrik take the consonants? Like, how did that? Do you think that?
Everybody knows Daniel takes the consonants and Henrik takes the vowels. Everybody knows it. Come on. You mean you can't tell them apart after all these years? What's wrong with you?
No, I can't. I'm Swedish. I'm Swedish racist.
There you go. There you go.
There we go. Yeah, if we got nothing else, we can call it now. We will call it.
Yeah, I got nothing, boys.
We'll get you back to that hot preseason action.
Oh boy, whoopity doo! I actually turned on, watched all of 5 minutes of the Golden Knights and Canucks having their little tango, and just I'm like, yeah, that's preseason hockey.
Oh, you watch a couple games in the morning when the Canucks take on the Kings in China. And I don't know when that starts, but
in China.
When do they play there? That's a great question.
I believe it's tomorrow, 21st and 22nd, I believe, or 22nd and 23rd, sometime this week. A couple of games. One in Shanghai. First one's Shanghai. Second one's in Beijing.
There we go.
So NHL trying to grow that brand, just not in South Korea. Sorry, South Korea.
Well, that's fine. Like I said, it's the wrong Korea.
Yeah.
Like they have media there; they can see what's good and bad. Like with North Korea, they got that media's fed for them. That'd be great. Get all that non-existent North Korea money.
Oh yeah, that's sweet. Oh, and just very quickly, Eric Cole signed a 1-day contract with the Carolina Hurricanes to officially retire as a Hurricane today. Ain't that sweet?
Good for him.
Yeah.
Also, great story on ESPN.com. Drew Doughty ready to bring hockey to China. Single-handedly, Drew Doughty.
Brings
hockey.
Yes.
to China.
Oh, okay. Now wait a minute. Because ESPN no longer really has any real hockey writers there anymore since they fired them. Oh, I shouldn't really say that. They probably do have a couple of decent people there. Josh Cooper writes for them now, so he's a decent hockey guy.
That's a shame.
The Hurricanes have been getting a lot of bad press this offseason, so it's good that they did something
That's
good for
true.
Eric Cole.
Yeah. I mean, it adds a whole new meaning to the Hurricanes are going to do a lot of damage this season.
Apparently, Joffrey Lupul getting in trouble with his Instagram.
Oh
comment.
God, yeah. Okay,
That's
real quick on
hilarious.
that one. That is, yeah. So it's just responding to a fan and saying, "Ha, Leafs cheat." And today he releases his statement saying he does not intend to file a grievance with the NHLPA by tomorrow's deadline. So basically, Joffrey opting to just sit out the season and draw his full pay for the remaining year.
I got this is a great comment on this thing that I'm looking at here. Talented dexterity of a senior citizen. So not what you want to have as a scouting report.
No, not at all. Well, it's just, you got to be careful. If you're going to spout off on social media, you best be prepared to suffer the consequences if you can't back it up.
Right, exactly. And because that gets the NHL into it as well, too.
Well, exactly. And I'm sure Mr. Lupo probably got a phone call from somebody.
Exactly. What are you doing?
No, it'd be like, what are you doing? Yeah.
What is your problem, young man?
Mm-hmm.
My God.
It's a nice salary you got there. It'd be a shame if something happened to it.
Exactly. And then poof, it gone.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lyle.
Anyway,
That's it. Another week done.
Hey guys.
Next week we still won't be joined by Johnny.
Well, he's in England.
Yeah, it's fine. He's
with his Oyos, with his Beatles Oyos.
Those are actually legit Legos. So,
oh, okay.
I as much as I love Oyo, I don't think they could pay the property on that.
Probably not. Yeah.
Boy. In any case, we'll talk to you again next week, sir. Thank you very much.
Talk to you next week, guys. Take care.
Bye. There he goes. Lyle Richardson, SpectresHockey.net, thehockeynews.com, PI and Bleacher Report for the Sliders. Mark, give us some shout-outs.
Shout out to Brittany last week or so of pregnancy. So there might be a baby Patanzo by this time next week. Shout out to being able to take some time off work. It's been a little crazy the last few weeks. Looking forward to being able to just focus on one thing at a time, even if that one thing is screaming and doesn't sleep all that much. So
kind of like college.
Yeah. What? Yes. Huh? All the drinking I'm going to be doing. It's going to be just like college.
I would say more of the crying and screaming and not going to sleep. But,
okay. Not the drinking.
Yeah, not the drinking.
Yeah, so I guess that's all for me. Go ahead.
All right. There's still one spot left for the October 1st draft. I'm cutting off the September 22nd draft since that's in 2 days. And we have an even number of teams. So I'm just going to quit that right there. One spot left for the October 1st draft. I don't know if Johnny's listens to the show afterwards, but hopefully he sent out all the invitations. We'll see. Any case, faceoffhockeyshow@gmail.com or at faceoffhcky show if you want to get in. Shout out to Dollar Thrift Store finds, including my new fancy Sweden CCM shirt for $1. That's pretty rad. Shout out to Hockey Card. Shout out to Dis to Overnights. Like in general, like not even just working. And that's it. That's a diss also to my sinuses because apparently I got like a sinus infection coming on. So hooray for that. In any case, that's it. That's all. For Mark with the C, I'm Scotty Watts. Take care of yourself and someone else. Has been Face Off Hockey Show on faceoffhockeyshow.com, also on Blog Talk Radio. Face Off HTKY Show, like I said, is the Twitter, the Facebook, FOHS Radio. We'll talk to you again in a week's time. Maybe just me. Who knows? Mark might be on baby duty. Johnny might not be back from England. Who the hell knows what's going on? I don't. I just throw out the rundown. Whoever shows up, shows up. We'll have a great time. Jen lives around here. We could get her into this conversation. Who's to say? So we'll have all that stuff. So until next week, guys, we will go ahead and say goodbye to all of you. Why is this not?
This next one is called Rely on the
Is it working?
Music.
Do you hear music now? Is music
Yes.
playing? Okay.
Music
good.
is playing.
All right. Bye, everybody.